Good morning, brothers and sisters. This morning we have a really important spotlight. We're going to take a little bit of time here today and follow up. You remember our David and series? We looked at David and Bathsheba, and during that message we talked about the importance of David's sin wasn't something that happened in that one moment. That was years of building up, a practice that was in place that finally exploded on him. And we talked about the importance of dealing with such things, the sexual addictions that invade our society, invade our churches. And there's a conference that's coming up at Faith Bible Church in just a couple of weeks. And so we've asked Tom and Michele Weaver to come from Faith Bible. They're over the Conqueror series. I often in my counseling send people up to be a part of that for the accountability. And they're going to share today a little bit about that in conference and how important it is. So Tom and Michele, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Like Pastor Larry said, we're having a conference at Faith Bible Church. Just to give you a little bit of the details on the conference itself, it's March 29th and 30th up at Faith Bible. It's Friday night and Saturday. It's from 7 to 9 on Friday night, 9 to 5 on Saturday. And it's really hitting the sexual addiction, pornography issue head on. As we know, and Michelle's going to share here in a couple minutes, as to what the statistics show for pornography, both in the youth, in the church, and just in society. It's a tough topic to talk about, but we're excited to have this conference at Faith Bible Church. They've opened up their arms and allowed us to really run this program in the church with the Conquer series. It's changing lives, and this conference we feel was a necessity, one, because of our story, and we feel the need to get out there and spread the word that there is hope. There is freedom from sexual sin, and you just got to step up to the plate and take the initiative to get to it. The conference, like I said, Friday night, Saturday, it's $45. The insert's in your bulletin. We have a table back there if you want to buy tickets. You can buy them online as well, Faith Bible's website. But now the real why as to why we're doing it. Michelle's going to read some stats.
Hello. Nearly 70% of the men in the church struggle with pornography, 25 to 35% of the women. 54% of the pastors, 33%, nearly a third of women under the age of 25 actively seek pornography. 1 in 2 of all families report porn as a problem in their home. 56% of divorces involved one party having an obsessive interest in pornographic websites. 68% of divorce cases involved one party meeting a new paramour over the internet. Porn use increases marital infidelity rate by more than 300%. 11 states have now declared it a health crisis. Only 4% of young adults under the age of 25 consider porn a negative thing. They cite overeating, not recycling, and using too much water as more problematic than pornography. Porn has become the norm. We as a society have become so desensitized by the tentacles of porn that we fail to recognize it within our everyday lives. Sexually explicit content can be found everywhere.
The stats are overwhelming, and I did fail to say who was speaking at our conference. And Dr. Wise, who's been involved with sexual addiction, treating sexual addiction for 30 years, does all kinds of resources, has all kinds of resources on his website. So he's one of the speakers, and then also Trey and Melody Lavorne, who have an awesome story about their marriage, where they were married, they were in the ministry, married for 10 years, they divorced for 6 after his scandalous secret life came out, and then they remarried again now for 10 more years, and they're going to be sharing their story Friday night. So that's who's there Friday night. We have a short 2-minute video we'd like to show you, expanding a little bit upon what Dr. Weiss is going to be saying, and as well as these statistics. So if you go ahead and run that.
Weiss, and you are in a war. The enemy of your soul, the enemy of my soul, the enemy of the church has declared a sexual war throughout church history. When the church knows she's at war, she wins every time. But what I've noticed in the last 20 years is the church doesn't know she's at war. Now, I understand you can be anywhere in this war. Some of you have been victorious. you can stand clean before your God. But half or more, no matter where you live in the world, no matter what kind of church you go to, half of you are struggling and are really in pain. Some of you are actually addicted. I understand those days of crying out to God, not being successful, failing and going to church, being in the choir and singing about our God, and defiling myself throughout the week. You are in the war, and you can win this war. I've been clean for over 25 years, and I'm not blowing smoke at you. I take a polygraph to verify no self-behavior, no pornography, not cheating on my wife. You deserve that kind of clean. Clean is a declaration of you are in the war. Now, how you fight is up to you. In the next several segments, we're going to give you some tools. In the materials, you have found tools so that you can win. And I want to end with this. You are the only plan God has. There is no plan B of someone else picking it up if you drop your sword, if you drop your gun, if you drop your brothers. Your family will suffer. Your sons and daughters will suffer. Your wife will suffer. Your ability to think, be creative, and create resources will be limited. This is a real war, and you can really win it.
So that's Dr. Wise. He's very straightforward. He cuts through all the BS, and he gets right to it. And what he says is true. We have to fight for it. The statistics that Michelle mentioned, most of them were in the church. So it affects the church. It's Satan's goal is destruction, and he's going after the men and the women now. The women are a growing group in this struggle, and he's taking them down one by one. You've seen it all. You've probably seen it this weekend. If anybody's a football fan, Robert Kraft, New England Patriots owner, arrested for solicitation in Florida this weekend. So it's hitting everywhere. It's hitting the youth. It's hitting the women. And it's hitting married men in the church, and it's trying to destroy the church, and we need to fight back. We came to Faith Bible Church 4.5 years ago in a crisis situation. Our marriage was unraveling, and we had nowhere to go. And we went to Faith Bible, and they took us in. And my sexual sin and how I got to this position and how our marriage has persevered through this is just a miracle. I don't deserve to be married with the past that I have, but Michelle has stood beside me every step of the way for the last 4.5 years fighting this battle. And we have to continue to fight in the church, because can you imagine what's happening outside the church? We all know what the kids have on their phones at their disposal at any given time. And it's time that we fight back and take our kids back, take our marriages back, take our souls back, and take our church back. So we look forward to seeing everybody there. I challenge everyone to come. It's going to be a great conference. You know, I sat out there in the audience at one point, kind of smirking at somebody doing what I was just doing right now, and turned out I was the biggest one. I was the biggest perpetrator. So I encourage everyone to come. You know, you don't have to be in it. Any dosage is too much. You're going to be able to learn something, especially from Trey and Melody, you know, and their story, and then Dr. Wise. So, yeah, I think that's all we have. But thanks for letting us come. I appreciate it. And any questions, you can come back to the table after the service. Thank you.